helping people is a really broad subject, I suppose, because there are many different way of helping, right? The help is just one word, but there are different forms of help or different aspects of help. So it's kind of a broad topic, I suppose. But since you help people for your work, and then also I think you mentioned that you you can't not help people or something along the line, right? So do you feel that that's your sort of a calling to help people?
Well, I think I always have done that, um, but I didn't look at it as help. Like
Oh,
it's hard to explain. Um,
mm,
I think that's always been my calling, but I never ever looked at it that way. Like even in college, like I would help people that were taking classes that I wasn't taking, right? And
mm,
I would use my say artistic skills or uh, different kind of things to help them do a presentation, even though I never got credit at all.
mm,
But that to me, that was fun for me. Like, it was I never thought anything about it. It was just how it
mm.
was.
So that's the
And
you just felt to do it, so you just did it, kind of thing.
yeah,
Mm,
yeah,
okay.
but then at a certain point, when it became an obligation, like, well, once you help somebody, then the help is always expected, then it
Yeah,
felt wrong. Like, there was no joy in it, and that's when the
yeah.
guilt set in, right?
Mm-hmm,
For
mm-hmm.
not
Yeah,
helping because you said no. Nope, not this time. Um,
yeah, yeah.
so
That's
yeah, I've had to come
the
to Yeah, go ahead.
So that's the thing that I wanted to ask you about in terms of helping people, because I think in a cultural society that there are certain expectations, right, in terms of
Yes.
being helpful, being doing something for others, and you don't be so selfish and consider others and help others, and or some people would say, oh, if you feel down or stuck in your life, then once you start helping people, lives will open up. There are some people who would say that sort of thing. But I think personally, I have some difficulty about helping people. Not that I will not help people, but because of the association of expectations and guilt. And I'll tell you a story. So when I was in elementary school, in my homeroom, there are a couple of kids who were disabled, sort of. So one girl had a heart issue, so she couldn't walk fast or, join a PE class. So she was really, she had to walk slowly and then do activities calmly. Um, that's one girl. And the other girl had issue, some physical limitation that she couldn't grow. She sort of remained dwarf. So they were actually older than me, but they were in my class. And I was assigned to sort of take care of them, you know what I mean? To accompany them when we moved to a different location or different room. I was one of the students who were assigned to help them. So, I mean, that was fine in a sense, but that girl who uh, remained dwarf, she was brat, if I can say it that way. She was, I guess her parents pitied her and didn't really discipline her. So she was
Mhm.
sort of obnoxious. So I was I think I felt a little bit of a resentment being assigned to that task. You know what I mean? So that sort of thing. So, I would help, but then I don't necessarily want to put in a situation that not really feeling good or not really enjoying, right? So, but I also feel the obligation to accept the responsibility. So I think that's the
Well, it
conundrum that
sounds
I.
it sounds like to me that you knew even back then that your so-called helping her in any way was enabling her, and
Right,
so there's a
right.
conflict there.
Hmm. Yeah. So
And
and
that's
then another.
yeah. And go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that that's where my road always led with me helping. Right.
Mm,
That if I felt like I was enabling, then I would
hmm.
quit helping.
Right, right.
And sometimes it would be like harsh
Yeah,
in the
that's hard,
stopping.
right?
And then I
Mm-hmm.
felt guilty about that. It was like I felt guilty about me being harsh. Like
Mm-hmm.
and so I've struggled with that. But now that I'm in the position that I am now, I have to be forced to help people
You're right.
because of the funding, things like that. So I'm obligated to help, but I don't have to enable. So I balance those two very some sometimes I feel like not in the best way, but
Mm,
I'm working at it. Like it's become part of me now. And like
mm,
I'll just tell them the blunt truth about something. And sometimes they argue with me and then eventually the argument goes away. It's just like, okay, I'll accept your help regardless of if you're going to tell me the honest truth about my
mm.
situation. So it's been a struggle. I'll give you that because family obligations, like
Yeah.
I've told you some about my mom and that kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing, and there
Mm-hmm.
was always, oh, let's get together for Christmas, let's get together for this and that and the other, and I always
Yeah.
felt like it was such an obligation that it felt wrong to even be there. But I went
Mm,
anyway for my sisters and whatever. But then
yeah. Yeah.
eventually I walked away from that for a while. And it's just like, no,
Oh.
my psyche cannot take this. Like, I cannot go down here and pretend everything is fine when it's not.
Mm,
Like,
right.
I can't wear that mask anymore, and I
Yeah.
won't. And
Mm.
so, and I
Yeah.
think my
So.
sisters now know that I don't wear that mask. And when they bring something up, they know I'm going to be brutally honest with them, like politics. I'll be like, yeah, whatever.
Mm. That's a good. If they accept that, that's actually good.
Well,
But
it took
you.
many years,
Right.
many years of me being an outcast, black sheep, shunned from family events, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. The part of it is that you sort of have to deal with that position, right? That
Yes.
being outcast or being seen as brutal or unkind or something like that. So, but that's just their, it's not truth about it. That's what they say is not the truth about you to say. So,
Right.
I guess that if you understand that, maybe that's easier to accept that position, I guess.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's been a struggle, and I still
Yeah.
feel it at times. Like
Mm,
even with my own daughters, right? Like, how is a mother supposed to feel when your kids walk away from you and go live in another city and then somehow, just act like their childhood wasn't everything? y- y- it's just, it's been a struggle. I'll just put it that
mm,
way.
yeah. Yeah, I struggle too. So. But I just want to ask you. So for your job, you said that you would help but not enable.
Yes.
How do you even balance that? I don't know what that looks like actually. But help but not enable.
Okay. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
Um, there's a homeless person.
Mm-hmm.
She I I honestly think she's an empath. Like she reads people to a T. Like
Mm-hmm.
she sees the lies between the
Mm-hmm.
eyes. All the stuff that you would consider a true empath, right? But she
Mm-hmm.
doesn't know how to handle it because society has never accepted that about her, right?
Right.
Um, so when she walks in, she's usually in a very angry mood because she's just walked into people's disdain for her, right? they automatically feel like, oh, she's gonna be this bizarre person, blah blah blah, and she just feels all that, so she just starts kind of ranting,
Hmm.
and so I just accept her for who she is, her darkness and all,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll just point blank tell her, whatever you're dealing with right now,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't cause it. It wasn't me.
Hmm.
And she has to think about that. And a lot of times she will walk back out the building and come back in with a fresh start. But only she can only do that with me because everybody else still lies. They still will talk to her and be like, "Oh, how you doing today?" And she knows that they don't. They're saying basically in their minds, "Get the fuck out of here! I don't want to talk to you."
Mm-hmm.
It, so honesty is the best medicine, in my opinion. Even when it makes a person think about what they are, but you don't have to do it brutally. Honesty does
Right.
not have to be brutal. And that's how
Mm.
I kind of deal with people. Like if people come in and they need help with their rent because they couldn't
Yeah.
make their rent payment or whatever, I point blank ask them, so what's the situation that you got yourself into that you can't pay your rent?
Right. Right.
And most of the time they lie. They lie through their teeth. When I know that they've spent money on something they shouldn't have, like drugs or alcohol or whatever it was, to not be
Yeah.
able to pay the rent.
Uh-huh.
And
Then how do you answer to that? You could see, but they were thinking that they wouldn't want to tell the truth, right? In that case.
well, this is the way that I deal with it because say somebody comes in, we're
Mm-hmm.
only like with we only um, so-called enable them with $300, which is not a whole lot, right? Say they owe
Mm-hmm.
$1,000 in rent.
Right.
I'm only going to give them 300, but the 300 I give them is going to be the last 300 that keeps them from getting evicted. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what I explain to them. It's like, and they're like, well, my next paycheck, I can pay the rest of it. No, you didn't pay it this time. What makes you think that you're going to guarantee that you pay it when you get your money? And I just point blank tell them the situation. It's like, no,
Huh.
I'm not gonna trust you to pay your rent next month when you didn't pay it this month.
Right.
And so when I explain to them that I will help them, but they have to help themselves in the process of getting all the other money got accumulated, and I'll pay the last 300 to keep you from getting evicted. Then
Mm-hmm.
they will do the work. They will do the work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a few of them that will end up getting evicted anyway, right? Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
but that's not on me. That's not my problem to solve,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how I deal with that.
Right. That's another thing, right? You sort of have to, once you feel you need to help, but how they would take it or how they would utilize your help is up to them too. So you sort of have to release that outcome as well, right? Is that
Yes.
true? Mm.
Well, I've learned over the many years of helping people, and sometimes I help them unconsciously, right? It was just in me to do it.
Mm. Mm.
Um, but oh, sorry, I got a call. Hang on,
Okay,
my sinuses are draining today. Sorry about that.
that's all right.
Um, but most of the time I was helping people unconsciously, just not even considering it help, just me being me.
Mm.
But then this whole job
Yeah.
that I work at now, I'm forced to understand that it is helping
Mm.
without me. It's a conscious help, right? When somebody comes
Right.
in and
Yeah.
asks for money,
Yeah.
right? That's a
Yeah.
conscious
Yeah.
help.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so I've had to look at, you know, I've had to look at myself in the process, and I've had to look at them in the process.
In regard to helping them, you, what do you mean by look at yourself?
In the way that I thought I was helping.
Mm.
Like now it's just who I am, I think.
Mm.
Like to put their lives out in front of them in not
Mm.
a hurtful way, but a realistic way.
Right.